Good morning from sunny Southwest Florida. And a huge shout out to my friend Edna, who's up in New York right now. She is the host of an amazing podcast called Keeping It Real on Purpose. And you're going to hear a lot more about Edna and I in the coming days and weeks. We are collaborating on a really incredible project. I'm super excited to share that with you. There was a reason why we met when we did, both of us in our 60s and with so much experience and life behind us that we're going to be able to share I'm not going to go into it right now because there's just too much to put together, but I just wanted to say, hey, Edna, up there in New York, I see you and your cute self walking around in the morning with your coat on, and just wanted to tell you I've got a sweatshirt on today. But anyways, let me share a little bit of this view with you. So this is why I get up in the morning and I come when I take a walk. Seriously, look at that. Right? And this is like a excuse. Like I've got appointments today. Not going to be late, but I'm not giving up my time for myself. I did that for too many years. And I woke up this morning and I had a question that I wanted to ask is how'd you feel when you woke up this morning? And, I'd love, certainly answer, put it in the comments, but also make note of that because there is a correlation between how you went to bed and how you woke up. So the last thing that you did is going to sit on your mind. The last thing that you thought is going to sit on your mind. So, I learned this a long time ago that when I went to bed with anxiety, stress, anger, depression, I woke up like that too. So I decided that I was going to pay more attention to what I did before I went to bed and the things that I thought. Now, it didn't mean that my problems dissipated or disappeared. It didn't mean that all of a sudden, I decided I didn't have any issues and I went to bed feeling great. That's not what happened. So I just made a conscious decision that I was going to eliminate TV at night. So I don't watch TV anymore. Now, once in a while, I love to watch a movie, but I don't do it and then go directly to bed. I don't do it and fall asleep on the couch. I used to do that. And I realized that whatever I watched stayed with me. And what did I like to watch? Crime TV. Are you serious? And that's really freaking healthy to put in your head, right? Gives you such a great sense of humanity. Not smart. So stop doing that. I also stopped having angry conversations or bitter conversations or resentful thoughts, or how it can get, you be in a relationship with somebody, and whether it's friends or family, and you have a little argument and you go to bed on that. Also not good. It doesn't mean that the situation is solved, but it means that you take a couple of minutes and really ground yourself and come back to, who am I? Am I in this life for this one sole relationship and situation? Or is life on such a grander scale? You really begin to see things a little bit differently. Life is on a grander scale. My friend, this bird, I see this guy every day. I don't know if you can see him or not, but he's incredibly, and how do I know he's the same one? Because I just know. This is where he parties. This is where his friends hang out. Yeah, so you don't ever want to miss that stuff. So anyways, back to going to bed at night. So was I put on this planet so that I could have a relationship with person A and have difficulties in the relationship that it affected my entire life? Was that my sole purpose? So doesn't mean person A doesn't matter. Doesn't mean I eliminate person A. It means that I'm extremely mindful of how I feel when I interact with person A. So if that relationship with person A isn't conducive to the health and well-being that I want for my life, I need to make a choice. Okay. So another thing I started doing that made a big difference, especially when I was struggling, there were times where I had bouts of depression that would, really keep me from sleeping. As tired as depression can make you, I just couldn't sleep. So I started a gratitude journal. And it wasn't always easy. I made myself every day write down 5 things that I was grateful for. And sometimes it was a struggle. Sometimes I would literally have to go, you know what? I have clothes on my back. I have food in my stomach. I have a car. That's freaking huge, right? I have a car. That's a big deal. And I have a roof over my head. Another really big deal. I'm not sleeping in the open elements. Whatever it might be, write down the 5 things that you're grateful for and then go to bed on that. You want to see a difference? You want to see a shift in your mindset? You want to see a shift in how you wake up in the morning? And then when you wake up in the morning, how do you feel about your day? You excited? You looking forward to it? Or do you see a pattern? And this is something, once again, I am definitely a no BS person, okay? So I'm not going to sit there and go, oh yeah, well, life will get better. No, that's bullshit, right? You got to do the work. You got to make a conscious effort that this is no longer how I want to wake up in the morning. So I'm not going to be gentle with these things. Get a freaking pen and paper and do the work. So in the morning when you wake up, begin to notice the patterns and write them out. How do I feel this morning? 2 sentences. Now, 20 seconds of your life to change it should be a non-negotiable, all right? So I don't want to hear that crap like I'm too busy. Get up 2 seconds earlier, really, seriously. So no excuses, but start writing it down. How do I feel this morning when I wake up? 2 sentences. All right, I feel hopeful. Oh, I feel discouraged. I feel like I don't want to go to this job anymore. I feel like I'm drowning in debt. I feel like I'm excited for my future. Whatever it is, begin to notice a pattern. And when you see that pattern and you see it clearly, it's only going to take you 2 weeks to see a solid pattern, I promise you, and if not sooner. And then stand back and go, wow, what's this telling me about myself? And nobody can answer that but you. You know, I would get up in the morning and there were times that I had a job that, you know, wasn't necessarily fulfilling for me, but I found a challenge in it. I don't recall ever having a job that I absolutely hated, because if I did, I freaking left. All right, I left because I knew, even as jacked up as I was in the beginning, before I really was solid in my work, I knew that I had lived in bondage of heavy, hard feelings for the majority of my life, and I was not willing to go back. I would be broke before I would live in a place, in a space in my head that I regretted my days. I did that for way too long. Way too long I woke up regretting my days and wondering why the hell I woke up. Like wishing I hadn't woke up. So no longer going to do that anymore. And I'm really going to encourage you to spend some time, you know, looking at that and paying attention to that, because, you know, people, this is the only life you've got. How do you want to go through it? How do you want to move through it? So I hope that helps. Homework for today, if you don't already have it, pen and paper. Begin to write down your 5 things that you're grateful for every single night before you go to bed. Keep it on your nightstand. Last thing you do before you shut out that light. Here's a bonus tip. Take that damn phone and leave it in the freaking kitchen. That shit does not go in the bedroom. Yep, sorry, I said the S word. Be really hard on that. There's something called alarm clocks, so I don't want to hear the excuse that my phone is my alarm clock. Definitely don't want to hear the excuse, what if somebody needs me? So I'm going to tell you, it was a hard thing for me too. I have kids that live on the other side of the country. Would I worry about them? Yeah. Was there anything I could do about it? If God forbid there was an emergency, I couldn't do jack about it other than worry, be freaked out, react. React is a big one, right? What would I do at 2 o'clock in the morning? God forbid I got a phone call from a hospital. Well, I'd react. I'd drive like a maniac to the airport. I'd be a complete disaster. Who's that going to help? So no, I shut the phone off. So I can't live in anxiety and worry. I can't be concerned about what might happen to somebody, because you know why? It doesn't make sense. Think about it. What are you gaining by putting yourself through that anxiety? You gaining anything? We're not gaining anything. I did it. I did it for a long time, I worried. And it just really, all I was doing is casting energy about the situation of concern and worry. What happens when you do that? When you play around with energy in a negative way, it reacts just as well as it does when you play around with energy in a good way. So keynote, don't play with energy, be intentional with it. So anyway, so back to, doing the gratitude at night before you go to bed. You're going to notice a shift in your mornings. You're going to notice it may not be dramatic. I don't know where you are in your world, but I'm going to tell you something. It's not going to make it worse. All right. So there's that. And then really begin to pay attention to how you feel in the morning. Start 2 more sentences. I know you got time, people. We're talking a combination of 2 minutes at night, 2 minutes during the day. Are you worth that? If you don't feel you're worth that, then just continue on your merry way. But if you do feel you're worth that, take the time, begin to notice the patterns, right? I hope this helps. I'd love to hear your comments and your thoughts. Please leave them. This is going to be a, really interactive times here, right? We're not going to just sit and, listen to somebody go blah, 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 blah. Like I want you to be engaged. I want you to be a part of this. I want you to enjoy the journey as much as I have. As difficult as it sometimes has been. All right. I had to just say hi to this guy. I mean, how cool is that? All right, he's so cool. Yeah, I wouldn't trade this morning walk for anything. Nobody's getting in front of my my morning solitude. Are there times that I have to do it before the sun comes up because of what my schedule is? Sure, but you know what I remind myself? I made the schedule. So all the rules are my rules. All the rules are your rules. So if we've got rules in place, just remember we weren't born with those rules. Somebody allowed them to be erected. Who was that? I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for spending some of your morning with me.